Hey there, it's Ian Koniak, and today I'm going to talk about how to get things through purchasing departments quickly. If you're like me and you sell to large enterprise accounts, all of them have a purchasing department, and one of the mistakes I've seen people make quite often is they don't engage purchasing early in the process. They wait till a deal is near the finishing line and then the deal gets stalled at purchasing. So today I want to talk about how to avoid that and how I work with purchasing in my accounts to make sure they're a partner and not an adversary. That's step one, is really you got to look at purchasing as a partner. The mindset of many salespeople is that the purchasing department is the enemy and they want to do everything to go around purchasing. And that's simply not the best practice, and that's not what I'd advise. The reality is purchasing is not trying to get in the way of companies moving forward with your products or services. They're trying to make sure that their company gets the best deal or the best terms, and that's why they're there. So the more you can be working with them to make it a win-win for both purchasing and for your company, the better off you're going to be positioned. So the way that you do that is, first and foremost, you want to get to know the purchasing department, or specifically the head of the purchasing department, early on in the process. So I have a regular cadence with the VP of purchasing at one of my largest accounts. And what I do is I tell them in advance typically what's coming down the pipe. Even if the deals aren't necessarily finalized or the budget's not approved, I'll give purchasing the heads up that this might be coming. And I talk to them regularly. Whenever there's a deal that's coming my way or I think we're gonna need, I give them a heads up in advance. This way they won't stall the deal and they won't have to make sure that they're doing their diligence late versus early. So the second thing I do is I keep them involved during the negotiations. A lot of time negotiations occur with the department head or the business unit themselves before they get to the purchasing department. The problem with that is then purchasing wants their piece of the pie as well, and they're going to want to negotiate. Well, if you've already negotiated to that point and then purchasing comes in and you say, I'm already at my bottom line, I can't do anything, then that's when it can get stalled. So by bringing in purchasing early during the process, they can see we're moving on the deal. They can see we've already made terms. They can know what's going on. And if they do ask for anything at the 5-yard line, it's not going to be much. It's not going to be some crazy difference because they've seen that we've already changed the proposal a few times up to that point. So just keeping them in the loop, making friends with them. And then last but not least, just make sure that you reference any existing products that are already there, okay? If it's a new product or a new service, then purchasing is gonna wanna make sure they're getting the best deal, because in a global enterprise, that particular reference point is gonna be what's used for all future add-on purchases. So if you go in and you have a new product you're selling, get ahead of it right away. If there's terms that need to be changed, if they have certain negotiation rates, you want to make sure you're working with purchasing early in the process for any new products. For products that already exist, all purchasing is really doing is they're creating a PO or they're pushing it through the process, right? So if you have a good relationship with purchasing, what'll happen is I can get POs turned around in a day or two, whereas with other AEs, it takes a week or two. Why? Because purchasing wants to do you a favor because they know you work with them well, you've given them concessions, you've been a good partner, and that's really what it needs to be, is a partnership. So get in early on, number one, make sure you're friends with purchasing, number two, number three, don't see them as an enemy, and number four, for new products that aren't on the contract, make sure you negotiate early on so that you don't have a stall later on if there's any new type of terms and conditions or they need some standard global pricing. Hope this is helpful, and remember, purchasing is your friend, not your enemy. Take care.